Hey everyone. Before we dive into today's story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what time it is there. It really helps YouTube recommend more stories like this one to you. Alright, let's jump right in.
The first time my reflection moved when I didn't. I told myself I was just tired. It was late. Maybe 2 a.m. I was brushing my teeth in the new loft I'd just moved into. Big corner unit. Exposed brick, vintage mirrors framed into the walls like a showroom. Too good a deal for downtown. Should have been a red flag. I was bent over the sink, spitting out foam, and when I looked up, my reflection was still leaning forward. Like I hadn't moved at all. Just half a second too long. Then it snapped into place, mimicking me again like nothing happened. I froze with the toothbrush still in my mouth. My heart did that tight skip, when your brain can't explain something simple. But I laughed it off, rinsed my face, and blamed it on moving stress. Except it happened again, and eventually, I stopped laughing. The mirrors were everywhere in this place. I counted 7 total, all built-in hallway, bedroom, kitchen backsplash. I'd thought it was cool, artsy. Now it felt like I couldn't escape being watched by myself, only. It wasn't me anymore. Not exactly. Sometimes I'd catch him. That's what I started calling the reflection. Him, just out of sync. A blink, too slow. A delayed turn. Once, I reached for my water bottle, and he didn't move at all. Just stared back at me, dead still, until I blinked, and it reset. It was subtle at first. Little slips. Then he smiled. I hadn't smiled. I swear on everything. I hadn't even twitched my mouth. But in the mirror, he was grinning at me. Just barely, a thin, cold smile that lasted maybe 2 seconds before he matched my actual face again. I backed away from the mirror like it was hot. That night I slept on the couch, facing away from the big mirror in the bedroom. I turned it to face the wall the next day. Nailed a sheet over another one in the hallway. Didn't matter. Every reflective surface became a minefield. The toaster. My laptop screen. The dark TV when it was off. He was always there, and sometimes he looked too still. Or too eager. Like he was waiting for me to do something wrong. Or something right. It got worse when I started filming. My therapist, who I stopped seeing months ago because I couldn't afford her anymore, had once said journaling might help when my anxiety flared up. So I tried filming myself instead. I sat in front of the camera, recorded how I felt. I'd say stuff like, "Okay, today I saw him blink twice before I did." I'm not imagining it. I'd re-watch the footage. Look for proof. That's when I saw it. In one video, while I was talking to the camera, the mirror behind me showed my reflection just standing. Not talking. Not even moving his lips. He just stared at the back of my head, unblinking, like he could see me even. Though I was turned away, I stopped recording after that. I stopped looking in mirrors. But you know what happens when you avoid something? It controls you even more. I was jumping at my own shadow. I started covering things, even shiny doorknobs. My friends noticed I wasn't posting selfies anymore. One of them said, "Dude, are you okay? You look like you haven't slept in a week." I hadn't, not well anyway, because I started hearing things. It sounded like breathing. Inside the walls. Inside the glass. Not mine. One night, maybe 2 weeks into this spiral, I dropped a plate in the kitchen. It shattered on the tile, and I bent down to pick it up. When I looked up, he was already standing in the hallway mirror, facing me. Not crouched like I was. Standing. Watching. Waiting. I froze, staring at him. My own reflection, towering above me like he hadn't fallen to the floor like I had. Like gravity didn't apply to him anymore. And for the first time, I saw his eyes. They weren't mine. Same color. Same shape, but hollow, glossy. Like he'd copied the image of me, but not the person inside. And it hit me right then. He was learning. Practicing. Every time I moved, he was memorizing it. Getting closer to perfect. I wasn't looking at a reflection anymore. I was looking at someone trying to be me. I went to a hotel that night. Paid too much for one night of sleep and kept the bathroom lights on. No mirrors. No screens. I slept like a corpse. When I came back to the apartment the next morning, all the mirror covers were gone. Every sheet, every drape, torn down. I didn't do that. I hadn't been there, but the mirrors were bare, waiting. I tried to get out of the lease after that. Called the landlord. Said I had personal reasons, family emergencies, whatever. He said no, minus 12-month contract. Ironclad. You signed it. You stay. I asked if anyone else had complained about weird stuff in the unit. He hesitated. Long pause, then said, there was a woman who used to live there. Couple years back. She broke every mirror in the place. What happened to her? He didn't answer at first. Then he just said, she moved out. That night, I took a hammer to the biggest mirror in the living room. It was instinct, not logic. I just needed it gone. Needed to see it break. I swung once. The glass cracked, deep, satisfying. Like a scream. I felt this wave of relief, like I'd finally done something right. But then the crack started healing. Right in front of me. The line in the glass. It pulled itself closed. The spider web of damage sucked inward until it was smooth again. Not new. Just untouched. Like I'd never hit it. And worse? In the glass I saw my reflection smile again. Wide. Happy. Like he'd been waiting for me to fight. And now it was his turn. Part 2. I didn't sleep after that. I couldn't. Every reflective surface in that place felt like a doorway now. And he was standing right behind it. Waiting for me to get close. Waiting for me to slip up. I called my friend Ellie, the only person I trusted to not call me insane. She came over the next afternoon. Sunlight pouring in through the huge windows made me feel a little safer. Like the shadows couldn't reach me as easily. She didn't believe me, obviously. But she knew I believed it, so she stayed patient. Walked with me to the huge living room mirror. Told me to stand there with her. Let's figure out what's going on, she said. So we stood side by side. Staring. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear my pulse in my ears. Tell me what you see, she whispered. I didn't answer, because I didn't see one reflection. I saw two. Me. Staring straight forward, chest heaving. Eyes wide. And him, just a fraction off. His shoulders a little too relaxed. His expression almost excited. His eyes weren't matching mine anymore. They were locked onto me, not the mirror. Ellie nudged me. Her voice soft. Hey, you're shaking. Breathe. He smiled, a huge, stretched, hungry smile. I grabbed Ellie's wrist so hard she yelped and dragged her backward. What the hell, Julian? She snapped. I pointed, hand trembling. He smiled. I didn't. Look. She stared, focused, squint, and shrugged. It's you, she said. Just you. He looked right at me when she said that, and he stopped smiling, like he didn't want her to see, like this was between us only. I pushed her toward the door. You need to go. She tried arguing, but I didn't let her. I couldn't risk him deciding she was a better option. A better life. A better body, whatever he wanted. For the next few days, I only left the apartment to buy food. I covered my phone camera with tape. I showered in the dark. I kept my head turned when I passed windows. But reflections are everywhere, everywhere. I was cracking. The apartment didn't feel like mine anymore. I started feeling watched even with my eyes closed. I'd wake up sweating, certain someone was standing right above me. One night, I jolted awake to the sound of tapping, soft, rhythmic. Like knuckles. Tap, tap, coming from the closet mirror. I didn't breathe. I just stared at the dark glass from my bed. Tap, tap, tap. Then, a scraping sound. like nails dragging up and down the inside surface. I whispered, voice shaking, "What do you want?" The tapping stopped. A pause, dead, terrifying silence. Then a whisper came from inside the mirror, "Let me show you." I threw a blanket over the mirror and ran into the living room. My phone buzzed. Blocked. Number, a text, "Look at May" dropped. The phone like it burned me. I wasn't alone. I knew that now. He wasn't stuck anymore. He could reach through screens, through glass, through anything that showed me, anywhere I could see myself. He could get out. My vision blurred from crying. I felt dizzy and sick. I don't remember falling asleep, only the dream. In the dream, I was inside the mirror. The loft was reversed, backwards, but cold and hollow, like a museum version of my life. And he was there, standing inches from me. His skin too pale, his eyes too wide, teeth too sharp looking because his smile stretched too far. "You don't belong here," I whispered. He leaned close. Close enough I felt cold breath on my neck. "Neither do you." When I woke up, I wasn't in my bed. I was lying on the cold wooden floor, face pressed to the base of the living room mirror, like I'd been trying to crawl into it. That was the last straw. I started packing to leave. Didn't care about penalties or legal threats. I just needed to get out. I had 3 boxes taped when the power cut out. Darkness swallowed the room so fast I screamed. My own voice bounced off the walls. I grabbed my phone flashlight, shaking in my hand. Every mirror was uncovered. Every sheet I'd taped up, gone. The glass stood clean, clear, hungry. And in each one, he was closer, not copying, not delayed. Closer. In the hallway mirror, he stood right behind my reflection. In the kitchen mirror, his hands hovered near my throat. In the bedroom mirror, his head tilted like he was studying me, ready to make the first move. I backed toward the door, reaching for the handle without looking away from him. Glass began cracking, not outward, inward, like something was pulling it from the other side, like claws dragging the surface open. My phone flickered, battery dying. No. I was halfway through signing the lease when I saw the note. It wasn't part of the paperwork, just a sticky note, stuck to the bottom of the kitchen cabinet. In messy handwriting it said, "Don't open the crawlspace." Seriously, that should have been enough to scare me off. But rent was cheap, too cheap for the area. And the place was cute, 1-bedroom bungalow. Updated appliances, a tiny fenced yard for my dog, Hazel. And let's be real, it's LA, you don't get a whole house to yourself for under $1,200 unless something's wrong. I assumed the crawlspace was moldy or full of rats. I didn't care. I wasn't planning on poking around under the house anyway. So I ignored the note, signed the lease, and moved in. But I should have known. Some doors don't stay closed forever. The first night, I couldn't sleep. Hazel kept whining, ears perked, eyes locked on the floor vent near the foot of the bed. I thought maybe she heard raccoons or something. I got up, opened the vent, and shined my phone flashlight down into the dark. Just concrete and shadows. Nothing moved. But Hazel wouldn't step near it after that. She kept her distance like it was hot or electric. And I swear to God, when I turned off the lights and lay back down, I felt a breeze coming from the vent. Cold, damp, and just barely sour. Like meat left out too long. A few days later, I was working from home when I heard it. Scratching. Light at first, like fingernails under the floorboards, just beneath my feet. I muted my Zoom call and crouched down, listening. Scratch. Pause. Scratch. Hazel started growling. A deep, low noise I'd never heard from her. I knocked on the hardwood. The sound stopped. I stayed still for a minute. Then it started again, farther down the hall, moving, pacing, scraping from one room to the next, like something was crawling just beneath the house. That night I reread my lease, searching for something, anything, about the Crawlspace. Nothing. No mentions. No diagrams. No key. No access instructions. I texted the landlord, Tim, and asked about it directly. Me: "Hey, quick question. Is there a crawlspace under the house?" Tim: "Yes, why?" Me: "There's a weird sound coming from below the floor. Just checking if it's something structural." Tim: "Don't open it." Me: "I wasn't planning to. But what's actually in there?" Tim: "Nothing you need to worry about." Tim: "Just don't open it." That was it. I didn't respond, because something about the way he said that felt like a threat. Hazel got worse. She wouldn't go into the bedroom anymore. Slept under the kitchen table instead. Barked at the floor randomly, her hackles raised. Teeth bared. I started leaving the TV on just to drown out the noises. The scratching. The breathing. Yes, I swear I heard breathing. And the occasional metallic thump like something knocking against pipes. I told myself it was just old plumbing. Thermal expansion. Whatever. But I didn't believe that, because some nights I'd wake up and feel it. A vibration under the mattress, like something was moving directly beneath me. It wasn't until the power went out that I finally saw the door. It was during a storm. Windy, hard rain, full blackout. My flashlight flickered as I checked the fuse box out back. No issues. When I stepped back into the house, I saw Hazel sitting in the hallway, totally still. Staring at the floor. There was a small square outline I'd never noticed before, like a trapdoor. Painted the same color as the hardwood. Flush against the baseboard near the laundry room. A ring handle was bolted into the center that had not been there before. Not visible, not open. Because now it was just a crack, but enough for that. Smell to hit me again, rotting, wet, almost sweet. Hazel growled once, then whimpered, then ran into the bathroom and wouldn't come out. I stood there for way too long, just staring at the gap. And then, against every ounce of instinct I had, I pulled the door open. It made a sound like tearing cloth. The hinges were rusted and creaked like something alive as the door lifted. I aimed my flashlight down. Wooden steps led into blackness. Not concrete like I'd expected, just raw dirt. Packed, uneven, with streaks like something had been dragged across it. And at the bottom, another door. Not a wall. Not a foundation. A door, wooden, old, with peeling paint and a brass handle. I should have closed the hatch. I should have walked away. But something in me, morbid curiosity, maybe made me whisper out loud, "What the hell is that doing under my house?" That's when I heard it, from the other side of the door, a voice, breathy, quiet, almost a hum. "I hear you." I slammed the crawlspace door shut so fast I almost broke my fingers. Piled a chair, toolbox, anything heavy on top of it. Hazel barked non-stop until I picked her up and locked us both in the bathroom. I didn't sleep that night. Just sat in the tub holding my dog, listening to every groan and shift in the house. I could hear movement again, but it wasn't coming from under the floor anymore. It was inside the walls. The next day, I called the landlord again. No answer. I left a voicemail. Calm, professional. Asked if he'd ever had plumbing crews in the crawlspace. Mentioned the strange door. No call back. No text. Nothing. So I called the property management company. The lady who picked up said there was no record of a crawlspace access point on the blueprint. "That house is on a slab foundation," she said. "There's nothing under it." "But I saw it," I said. "It's there." I opened it. She paused. Then asked, "Which unit did you say again?" I gave her the address. Another pause. Then she said, "That's impossible. We haven't leased that property in almost 2 years." I didn't understand. I had a lease. I had keys. I had paperwork with their letterhead on it. I even read the agent's name off the lease. She sighed. That agent doesn't work here anymore. Why not? There was silence on the other end of the line. Then she said, he passed away. About 18 months ago. I hung up, checked the email that Tim had been using. It was a Gmail, not a company account. I tried calling again. Straight to voicemail. I looked up the number. No listings. It was like he didn't exist. Like I'd rented a house from a ghost. That night, I tried not to look at the floor. I kept the TV on loud. Held Hazel in my lap. But around midnight, the power cut again. Total silence. Total darkness. I didn't move, and in that silence, I heard something shift in the crawl space. The door creaked, open, slowly, groaning. And then, the sound of something climbing up the steps. The sound of footsteps on the crawlspace stairs didn't make sense. They weren't heavy, not booted or deliberate. They were soft, like bare feet, dragging slightly. Skin on wood. Thump. Shuffle. Thump. Hazel whimpered in my arms. My breath caught in my throat. I didn't want to move. I didn't even want to breathe, but I couldn't just sit there and wait for whatever was coming up to reach the hallway. So I did the only thing I could think of. I grabbed my keys, held Hazel tight, and sprinted out the front door. I didn't stop until I was in my car, shaking. Hazel whining in the passenger seat. The house stood still in the rearview mirror. That cozy, one-bedroom bungalow now felt like it was watching me. Like it knew I was trying to leave. I drove aimlessly for half an hour. Pulled into a Target parking lot. Sat there staring out the windshield with the engine running. And then I did something I hadn't wanted to do before. I looked up the address. Just to see if I could find anything about the previous tenants. Or the crawl space, or the landlord. It didn't take long. Just a few keywords. News article, dated 2 years ago. Local woman missing after strange 911 call from rental property. Asterisk. Police responded to a distressed call from a woman who claimed someone was living in her crawl space and talking to her through the vents. By the time officers arrived, the caller was gone. Her dog was found inside the house, unharmed. Authorities searched the property thoroughly, but found no evidence of forced entry or exit. The property has remained vacant ever since. Asterisk. It was my house. Same street, same number, same layout, even the white shutters I like so much. And the woman who went missing? Her name was Ashley Vega. There was a photo of her with her dog, small terrier mix, just like Hazel. But it wasn't Hazel. It was a different dog. So why did Hazel know not to go near the vent? Why did she already hate the crawl space before I ever opened it? I sat there, staring at the screen, heart pounding. There was no denying it anymore. The house was hiding something. And I had opened the door it wanted shut. I stayed in a hotel that night, cheap, grimy, off the freeway. But no mirrors, no vents, no crawl space. Just a room and a bolt lock. Hazel curled up on the bed, exhausted. I was almost asleep when I heard the knock. 3 soft taps on the motel door. I froze. Another knock. No voice. I tiptoed toward the door and looked through the peephole. No one. Just an empty corridor. I locked the deadbolt, slid the chain across, and stepped back. But then, I noticed the smell. Faint, damp, sweet, like wet dirt and meat. Just like the crawl space. I checked out the next morning. Didn't even shower. Just drove straight to the house. I should have run the other way. But there was this feeling, this pull, like the house wasn't done with me yet. Like I had to know what was behind that second door. So I went back. Everything inside was still. Quiet, no power. The crawlspace hatch was wide, open in the hallway. I grabbed a flashlight and stepped toward it. Hazel didn't follow. She just lay down by the front door and stared at me with this look I can't describe, part fear, part surrender, like she already knew how this would end. The crawlspace steps creaked under my feet. I crouched low and stepped down slowly. The dirt smelled stronger now, heavier, more sour. My light scanned across the walls, carvings, dozens of them. Etched into the wooden beams, names, dates, phrases. One caught my eye. Ashley was here. Don't trust IT's eye. Another one. I let IT out. IT, where's your face? The wooden door at the bottom stood half open, now waiting. I reached for the handle. The second I touched it, a sharp jolt ran up my arm, like a static shock, but deeper. In the bones, the air felt thicker on the other side, and cold. Not like a sea, more like a cellar, ancient. I stepped through, and everything changed. The space behind the door wasn't a room. It was a tunnel. Long, packed earth walls, narrow, just wide enough for me to walk hunched over. It stretched endlessly into blackness. My flashlight flickered. I turned around, but the door was gone. Just solid dirt where I came through, like the tunnel had swallowed the entrance. Panic swelled in my chest. Hazel's face flashed through my mind. I told myself, I have to get out. I have to go back. But then I heard the voice. Soft, feminine, desperate, double quotes, please. Help me. It echoed from deeper down the tunnel. I froze. Another voice joined it, this one lower, rasping, almost wet. She's lying. Don't listen. Then another, whispering directly beside my ear. I can be you now. I screamed and started running. The tunnel twisted and narrowed. Roots hung from the ceiling like veins. My light caught glimpses of shapes, bones, maybe. Scraps of clothing. Whispers chased me through the dark. Some sounded like me. Some sounded like Hazel. Finally, I hit a wall, dead end. Just dirt. No door. No air. And then I noticed the mirror. Yes, a mirror. Embedded in the wall. Old and cracked. But in the reflection, I didn't look alone. Behind me stood a woman. Pale. Eyes sunken. Dirt in her hair. She looked exactly like the woman from the article. Ashley? I whispered. She nodded slowly, then lifted one finger to her lips. It's watching. It copies. It waits until you're weak. I turned around. No one there. Just tunnel. I looked back at the mirror. But the image had changed. Now I was the one, standing behind the glass, and the woman, the one outside, was turning to walk away. I slammed my fist into the mirror. Cracks split across the surface. The tunnel began to shake. And then I fell. I woke up in my bed, sunlight pouring, and Hazel at my feet. The crawlspace door was gone. No hatch. No stairs. Just solid floor. I stumbled out of bed, dizzy, disoriented. Was it a dream? A breakdown? I grabbed my phone, checked the date. 2 days had passed. I tried calling the management company again. Number disconnected. I checked the lease folder, empty. No documents. No sticky note. Just my name on the mailbox, like I'd lived there forever. I should have felt relief, but everything felt wrong. Like the house was holding its breath. Later that week, a neighbor introduced herself. Nice older lady, sweet voice. She smiled at me and said, "Glad to see someone finally moved in again. You look just like the last girl." I froze. "You mean Ashley?" Her smile didn't change. "No, I meant the girl before her." She stepped closer, lowered her voice. "They all move in alone. With a little dog. They always stay just long enough." I asked, "Long enough for what?" She paused, then whispered, "Long enough for it to decide." That night, I looked in the mirror. My reflection looked tired, paler than usual. Eyes a little too dark around the edges, but was me, wasn't it? Hazel didn't come when I called her. She just stood in the hallway, growling. "I'm writing this now, because I don't know how much time I have." I hear scratching again, but this time, it's not coming from under the floor. It's coming from behind the mirrors, from the walls, and every night, I feel myself forgetting small things, my last name, my job. My sister's voice, like something's rewriting me, erasing the parts it doesn't want, fitting me into the house, replacing me. If you find this, don't trust the lease, don't trust the landlord, and whatever you do, don't open the crawl space. I've lived in over a dozen rentals. Studios, basement units, shared townhouses. I've dealt with mold, sketchy landlords. Walls so thin I could hear my neighbors' Tinder dates in real time. But nothing prepared me for the apartment with the room that didn't exist. The room that wasn't in the listing. When I moved in, I was desperate. New job. Cross-country move. Needed something fast and cheap. I found a furnished one-bedroom in an older building, half renovated, half forgotten, and it was available immediately, $900 a month. Utilities included. And pet-friendly, which was perfect because I'd just adopted Luna, my rescue cat. The listing showed a basic layout: kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom. Nothing fancy. No hidden corners. The photos looked honest, if a little grainy. I signed the lease through email, got the code to the lockbox, and moved in the same week. That was mistake number one. The building was quiet. Too quiet. You know that dead kind of silence, where you can hear the pipe shift and the floorboards settle. Where every footstep echoes longer than it should. That's what it was like. The unit itself was fine, a little dated, but nothing weird. Old wood floors, stained carpet in the bedroom. Floral wallpaper trying to peel off the kitchen wall. Only noticed the door on my second night. It was tucked away at the end of the hall. Past the bathroom, narrow, off-center. Painted the same yellowed white as the rest of the trim. No. Label. No knob. Just a number etched into the wood. 2B. I stopped mid-step. There was number 2B on the lease. No mention. No floor plan reference. The building was 4 units total. 1A, 1B, 2A, and mine, 2C. There was number 2B. But there it was. Right at the end of the hallway. I stared at it for a while. Knocked once. Lightly. No response. I leaned in and tried to listen. Nothing. No footsteps. No breathing. No air vent hum. I told myself it was probably a closet. A shared maintenance space or locked utility room. Just labeled weirdly. But as I walked back toward the living room, I swear I felt something, like the air behind me. Shifted. Heavier. Thicker. Feeling you get when someone's standing too close. I turned fast. The door hadn't moved, but I still shut my bedroom door that night and locked it. The next morning, I asked my downstairs neighbor about it. Her name was Ruby, retired. Maybe mid-60s. Always smelled like lavender and cigarette smoke. She'd lived in the building for years. Double quotes. Oh honey, she said, when I mentioned 2B. That old thing? She waved her hand like it was nothing. That room's been sealed up since before I moved in. Just storage now. Don't worry about it. Sealed? I asked. It looks like a regular door. Ruby squinted. Well, maybe they changed it. Still, nobody lives in there. Always been empty. She said it like it was comforting. It wasn't. That night, Luna started acting weird. She stood in the hallway outside the 2B door, tail low. Ears perked, totally still. Then she let out this guttural growl. Not like her usual hissy cat noises. This was different. Primal. I called her name. She didn't move. She stayed frozen there for 10 solid minutes. Then she darted into the bathroom and hid under the tub ledge. I followed her with a flashlight and checked the hallway again. The air felt colder near that door. Just a few degrees. But enough that I noticed. I pressed my hand to the wood. Ice cold. Like it hadn't been touched in years. Around 3 a.m., I woke up to a sound. Click. Not a knock. Not a creak, a definite click, like a door unlocking. I sat up. Heart hammering. Luna was at the end of the bed, ears pinned. Staring at the hallway, I crept out of the room. Every nerve screaming. The 2B door stood slightly open. Just an inch. A sliver. Enough to see darkness beyond it. Deep, unnatural darkness, like it absorbed light instead of reflecting it. The air smelled faintly metallic. Old pennies and burnt dust. I whispered, "Hello." Nothing, but the hallway felt wrong. Longer. Stretched somehow, like I was farther from the kitchen than I should be. I closed the door gently, hand shaking, and slid a heavy chair in front of it. Then I went back to bed. The next morning, it was shut again, chair unmoved. Like nothing had happened. I should have called the landlord. But what was I going to say? "Hey, the room you forgot to mention might be haunted?" Yeah, right. I decided to look it up. I found the building on an old city archive site. According to the original plans, Unit 2B used to exist. It was a second bedroom in a 2-bed apartment layout. But it was removed after a structural incident sometime in the early 2000s. No other details. No accident report. Just a note. Space sealed indefinitely. Occupancy prohibited. The weirdest part? There was no listing for my unit number -2C until 2 years later, like mine only existed after 2B was sealed, like it was built around it. That night, the door opened again. No sound this time. I woke up and just knew. I walked into the hall and saw the light from the living room stretching farther than it should. The hallway was wrong again. Longer, leaning. Slightly. 2B stood wide open. Turned on my phone flashlight. The space inside was no longer empty. It looked like a small bedroom. Now vintage wallpaper peeling at the edges. A narrow bed frame in the corner. A broken lamp on the floor. And someone was standing in the corner, back turned, not moving. Couldn't breathe. I didn't step in. I couldn't. But I whispered, "Who are you?" They turned slowly, just enough for me to see their face. It was mine. I slammed the door and ran back to my room. Luna was gone. I called her name over and over. No response. I sat there until dawn, waiting for any sound, any sign she was still in the apartment. When I opened the door in the morning, the hallway was normal again, short, silent. The 2B door closed tight, like it had never opened. But now, it had a doorknob. The first time I heard footsteps upstairs, I thought it was totally normal. Apartments have noise. That's just part of it. Footsteps, water running, someone vacuuming at 11 p.m. It's life. You deal. Except I live on the top floor. No one is above me. Moved into this place 6 months ago. It's a decent unit in a 3-story building. Hardwood floors, drafty windows, tiny balcony overlooking the back alley. Not glamorous, but cheap and clean. There's a unit directly below me, 2C, and another on the ground floor. But the space above mine? That's just attic space. Not even part of the leasing options. The landlord told me during the walkthrough, that whole top level sealed off. Storage only. You'll never hear a peep from up there. Lear, because I've heard things. And now, I know I'm not alone. It started with footsteps. Light. Careful. Almost polite. Like someone pacing barefoot across the ceiling around midnight. Never loud enough to wake me, just enough to make me pause mid-scroll and look up. I mentioned it to my landlord, Tim, the next week. He laughed it off. Squirrels, probably, he said. Or old pipes expanding. It's an old building. Creaks like hell. I believed him. For a while. Until the night I heard someone laugh. I was lying in bed with the TV on low, drifting. Then soft. Almost muffled, a child giggled overhead, directly above me. My entire body went cold. I muted the TV, sat up. Nothing. No footsteps. No voices, just that laugh lingering in the air like a dream you can't shake. I waited. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Then I heard water running. Right above the bedroom, like a bathtub filling. Except again, there's no unit above me. I slept on the couch that night. Lights on. Next morning, I went upstairs. The hallway ends in a heavy wooden door with a key lock and a dusty little sign that says, "No access, maintenance only." But the dust was smudged, and the handle was clean, like someone had used it recently. I knocked once. Nothing. Then again. Louder. I thought maybe there was a secret upstairs unit they didn't tell me about. A staff apartment. Storage converted into a living space. Something. Still. No answer. But as I turned to go back downstairs, I heard movement inside. Shuffling. A slow drag of something heavy across the floor. Didn't knock again. Over the next few weeks, it escalated. Every night around 2 a.m. I'd hear it. Soft footsteps, running water. Sometimes even a faint TV glow flickering across my ceiling. Like someone was living directly above me. Like they were mirroring my routine. I started testing it, walking from the kitchen to the bathroom slowly, and listening. The footsteps upstairs would follow. Step for step, sometimes slightly ahead. I asked my downstairs neighbor if they ever heard anything weird. She just looked at me like she knew something. "You're above me, right?" she asked. I nodded. She hesitated, then said, "Just be careful at night." Didn't explain. Didn't look me in the eye again. One night, the lights flickered. Not a power outage, just this strange dimming, like the whole building sighed. I looked up. My ceiling light buzzed, and in that flicker, I saw it. A shadow crossing the ceiling, like someone walking above me. Not fast, not aggressive. Just pacing, like they were thinking or waiting. I decided to record it. Set up my phone on the nightstand, hit record before bed, and let it run all night. I didn't listen to the first few files. Nothing happened. But on the 4th night, at exactly 2:11 a.m., the audio caught it. Footsteps, light, deliberate. Then a faint knocking, not on my door, but the ceiling, like they were trying to get my attention. Then, my voice. Faint, distant, but definitely me, only I was asleep the whole time. The voice on the tape said, "Come upstairs. I want to show you something." I deleted the recording. I don't know why. Denial, maybe, fear of proof. I slept with earplugs the next night. Blocked it all out, but that didn't stop what happened next. I woke up with dirt on my floor. Just a small patch by the bedroom door. Like someone had stepped inside with muddy feet. Luna, my cat, refused to go near it. She hissed and ran under the bed. I cleaned it. Tried to shrug it off. But the next night, more dirt, trailing in a line from the hallway toward my bed. Like footprints, only they weren't mine. I finally emailed the landlord again. Told him I was hearing noises, smelling weird stuff, seeing signs of someone or something coming into the unit at night. He didn't respond. At all. No text, no call, no visit. Last night, I made the mistake of knocking again. Went upstairs, pounded on the sealed door. I was angry, sleep-deprived. Done pretending I was imagining it, I shouted, "I know someone's in there." And something on the other side knocked back. Once. Slow, heavy, then the doorknob twisted. Just slightly, enough to let me know it wasn't locked anymore. Part 2. The doorknob turned only a few degrees. Not enough to open, just enough to say, "I see you." I didn't wait to see what came next. I turned and bolted down the stairs, heart hammering, every hair on my body standing straight up. I locked myself inside my apartment, dragged a chair against my door, and left every light on. Luna curled under the couch and didn't move all night. I didn't sleep, but I didn't hear anything else either. Not footsteps, not water running, not laughter. Just silence. The kind that doesn't feel peaceful, The kind that feels like someone waiting the next morning. I walked upstairs again. The door to the top floor was shut. The knob looked exactly the same, scratched, dusty, untouched. But this time, there was something new taped to the center of the door. A Polaroid. Faded, grainy. Looked like it was taken on one of those old instant cameras. In it, I saw the hallway. This hallway. And standing in front of this exact door was me, wearing what I wore yesterday. Staring at the door, mouth slightly open, like I was about to say something. I stared at it for a long time. No note, no caption. Just the photo. Just proof. Proof I hadn't just been imagining this. That someone or something was watching me, documenting me. From the other side. I didn't call the cops. I know how that sounds. But think about it. What would I even say? I got a picture of myself taped to a sealed door in an apartment no one lives in. They'd do a welfare check. They'd knock. They might open the door. And I wasn't sure if that was worse. So instead, I did something I told myself I'd never do. I opened the voice recorder app, pulled up the file I thought I had deleted. The one from that night. And I listened. The footsteps came in just like I remembered. Light, barefoot. Above me. Then the soft knock. Then my voice. Come upstairs. I want to show you something. But after that, there was more. A second voice. Not mine. Lower. Calm. Like someone was sitting right next to the mic. Do you think it's safe now? Pause. My voice again, but softer this time, almost. She's not resisting anymore. Then a quiet laugh, not a sinister laugh. Relieved one. Then silence, then breathing. Last thing I heard before the file ended was the faint creak of a door slowly opening. I don't remember ever saying any of those things, but it was my voice. Every syllable. Every inflection I even recognized. The tiny lisp I try to hide when I'm tired. So either I'd started sleep talking, or something else had learned to sound like me. That afternoon, I ran into Ruby, my downstairs neighbor, in the stairwell. She looked tired. Eyes sunken. Fingers twitching like she couldn't stop fidgeting with her lighter. I asked her flat out, "Do you hear them too?" She stared at me for a long moment, then nodded once. "They're patient," she said. My mouth went dry. She continued. "They don't come all at once. They take their time. Learn your voice, your walk, your habits, until they get it perfect." I asked, "Who are they?" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "The ones who were left behind. The echoes. They want to come back through." That night, I made one last decision. Moved my bed into the living room. No more sleeping under the upstairs space. No more hallway. No more giving them the routine they were learning. I didn't sleep much, but it felt like taking back some control, until I heard the knock. Not from the ceiling. Not from the hallway. From inside the bedroom. 3 soft knocks. Then a slow creak. Grabbed a flashlight and stepped toward the doorway. Heart pounding. The bedroom door was ajar. I pushed it open. The air inside was freezing, colder than the rest of the apartment. Luna followed me a few steps, then stopped and hissed. That's when I saw it. The hatch in the ceiling, the one I never noticed before, was open. Just a little dust sprinkled on the carpet below it. I didn't even think. I grabbed Luna, my phone, my keys, and ran down 3 flights of stairs out into the freezing night. Didn't lock the door behind me. I didn't care. I drove for hours. Slept in my car with the engine running and my cat curled in my hoodie. Didn't go back the next day. I didn't go back ever. I never got a call from the landlord. Never heard from Ruby again. I checked the building's listing 2 weeks later, and my unit was already back on the market. Same photos. Same price. Same description. Top floor unit. Quiet neighbors. Perfect for one. I live across town now. Different building. New locks. Concrete ceiling. No attic. Luna's different too. Quieter, clingier. She watches the corners of every room like she's waiting for something. Some nights, I wake up at 2:11 a.m. for no reason. My phone doesn't ring. There's no sound. But I swear, I hear the faintest echo above me. Footsteps. Like someone's still following, still mimicking. Still waiting for me to let them in. Again, if you ever move into an apartment and hear someone above you, and you're sure no one lives up there, don't ask questions, don't knock, don't record anything. And whatever you do, don't answer your own voice. I should have known something was off the second I read the rules. They weren't in the lease, they were handwritten, tucked inside a plain white envelope left on the kitchen counter. No signature, no letterhead. Just a single sheet of paper, taped in the center. Welcome tenant. Please follow these instructions for a peaceful stay. No mirrors after dark. No guests past 8 o'clock p.m. Do not light candles, especially red ones. Never sleep in room B. During a thunderstorm. If the hallway lights flicker, close your eyes and wait. Ignore the man at the end of the driveway. Do not attempt to contact the landlord. At first, I thought it was a joke, like one of those creepypasta Airbnb prank things. Maybe the last tenant had a weird sense of humor, but the house was perfect. Clean, quiet, well priced. I'd just broken up with my girlfriend and needed something temporary while I figured things out. Month-to-month lease. No questions asked. So I unpacked my bags, rolled my eyes at the list, and forgot about it. For about 2 days. The first rule I broke was #1. No mirrors after dark. I didn't mean to. I'd just gotten out of the shower on 10:30 p.m. and wiped the fog off the bathroom mirror to brush my teeth. The second I cleared the glass, I froze. There was someone standing behind me. Not close, not even threatening, just there. A blurry figure in the hallway, barely visible over my shoulder. I spun around, heart in my throat. Nothing. Empty. But when I looked back at the mirror, the fog had returned. Like I'd never wiped it. Like it was trying to hide something. That was the first night I slept with the light on. Rule number 2 came next. No guests past 8 o'clock p.m. My friend Nate came over for a beer around 7. We hung out, caught up, watched a little TV. At 8:15, he got up to pee. He didn't come back. I knocked on the bathroom door. No answer. I pushed it open. Empty. No window. No exit. Just an old tiled floor and silence. I checked every room. Called his phone. Straight to voicemail. The next morning, I found him sitting on the back porch. Staring at the yard. SHOELESS. Flatly, don't invite me here again. Then, he walked down the steps and disappeared. Around the corner, I decided to follow the rules after that. All of them, even the ones that didn't make sense, especially the ones that didn't make sense. I stopped lighting candles. I put every mirror in the house under a towel before sunset. I ignored the man at the end of the driveway, even though he started showing up every single night. Same time, just after 9 p.m. Always standing still, always facing the house, just barely visible between the porch rails. Then, the storm hit, and I made the mistake of sleeping in room B. Let me back up. Room B is just a guest room. Smaller than mine, weird wallpaper, creaky floors. I only used it for storage. But during the storm, the ceiling in my room started leaking hard. Big brown blotch in the drywall started dripping right onto my mattress. I grabbed my pillow and moved into room B. Thunder shook the walls. Rain hammered the windows. Power flickered once, then cut entirely. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, waiting for sleep to come. And then, The whispering started dot at first. I thought it was wind, but it was inside the room dot low, raspy, like someone speaking right next to my head but underwater. I sat up. Heart hammering. You're not supposed to be here. It wasn't loud. Just clear. I flipped on my phone flashlight. Nothing in the room. No one under the bed. No one in the hall. But the air felt heavier dot thicker dot, like the whole house was holding its breath. The whisper came again. Closer this time. Leave. You're letting it in. I grabbed my pillow and ran back to the leaky bedroom. Curled up in the dry corner by the door and waited for morning. The next day. The rain stopped dot, so did the whispering. But something had changed. The rules weren't on the kitchen counter anymore. They were taped to my bedroom door. The list was the same dot except one new line had been added. Dot 7. Do not speak to the copy, even if it begs. I don't remember writing that, but it was in my handwriting. That night, the lights started flickering again, just like the list warned. I stood in the hallway, holding my breath, and then, down at the far end, I saw myself. Same clothes, same posture, same terrified look, just standing there, watching me. Mouth moving, whispering something I couldn't hear. My hands started to shake. I closed my eyes. Just like the rules said. Counted to 10. When I opened them, the hallway was empty. I started sleeping on the couch. Started drinking a little more than I should. Stopped inviting anyone over. Stopped opening the windows. Was surviving the rules, but I wasn't living anymore. And the house knew it. Part 2. I didn't write the new rule. I know my handwriting, the curl of the 7. The way I cross my T's, but I didn't write it. Point 7. Do not speak to the copy, even if it begs. Beg? What was going to beg? I tried to tell myself the stress was getting to me. That maybe I had written it. That I was sleepwalking or having some kind of breakdown. I even tried to convince myself the rules were just some elaborate art project. An old tenant's experiment in paranoia. But that night, I woke up to the sound of myself crying. From the hallway. It was soft at first, then clearer. Definite. My voice. Sobbing. Choked and desperate. Whispering things like, please, I don't know what's happening. You have to help me. I don't want to disappear. I sat up in bed, frozen. The bedroom door was half open. The light in the hallway was off, but I could feel something there. Standing. Waiting. I got up slowly, pressed my back to the wall, and inched toward the door. The crying got louder. Closer. Then cut off. Dead silence. When I peeked into the hallway, no one was there, but I could still smell something warm, familiar, like the inside of my own shirt, like me. The next morning, the rules were gone again. This time, so was my phone. I tore the house apart looking for it. Checked under cushions, drawers, trash cans. Nothing. The weird part? I could hear it. Muffled. Somewhere inside the walls. Buzzing, vibrating, like it was still getting notifications, but out of reach, just like the rules. I went outside to breathe. And that's when I saw him again. The man at the end of the driveway. Same clothes, same stance, just standing perfectly still. But this time, I realized something. He wasn't facing the house. He was facing away, like he was trying to keep something in or warn something off. I called out, "Hey!" No response. I took one step toward him, and he took one step forward, walking down the street without ever looking back. That night, the thunder came back. No rain, just distant rumbles that shook the window panes every few minutes. Room B was cold again, even with the door shut. I could feel it seeping out under the frame, like something inside was breathing against the wood. I couldn't sleep. At some point around 3 a.m., I gave up and went to the kitchen for water. That's when I saw it. My phone. Sitting on the counter. Screen unlocked. Voice recorder running. I picked it up, hands shaking, and hit play. At first, just static. Then Footsteps. Then my voice again. I think he's starting to forget. He barely looked at me tonight. Then a second voice. Same tone, same me. That's good. Keep pressing. Once he talks to you, it's over. Then laughter. He still thinks he's the original. I dropped the phone, staggered back, and heard a voice behind me. It's okay. I'm still you. I turned around fast, but no one was there. Just the hallway stretching too far. And at the end, Room B's door wide open. I don't remember walking toward it. I just remember realizing I was already standing in the doorway. The room was pitch black, freezing. Stepped in. And saw myself. Sitting on the bed, head down, breathing hard, wearing my old hoodie, the one I threw away 2 weeks ago. He looked up. His eyes were mine, but glassy, off, not dead, not alive. He stood slowly. Thank you for letting me stay. I backed away. He followed, step for step. It's hard to keep the rules, but I needed time. Now you've helped me. Now I get to be real again. I turned to run and slammed into another meet. Smiling. Calm. You didn't follow all the rules. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. My body felt numb. Distant thunder cracked through the walls, and suddenly, they were gone. Both of them. The room was empty. The lights flickered once, then returned. I stumbled out, locked the door behind me, and curled up on the floor of the kitchen, dry heaving. When I woke up, it was morning. Everything looked normal. Clean, quiet, still, except the list was back. Taped to the fridge now. Same 7 rules, but now there was an 8th. If you're still reading this, it's already too late. I left that day, didn't pack, didn't say goodbye. I just walked down the driveway, past the man who still stood there, now smiling, and I didn't stop until I was halfway across the city. I live in a studio now, all one room. No mirrors. No second bedroom. No hallway, but some nights, I still hear knocking. Soft, polite. And once or twice, I've caught my reflection moving just a second too slow. I don't own a phone anymore. I don't write anything down, because if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: rules don't keep you safe, they keep it in. The first time the house cleaned itself, I thought I was losing my mind. Not metaphorically. I mean, I actually stood in the middle of my spotless kitchen, every dish washed, every crumb gone, garbage tied up and waiting by the door, and I had no memory of doing any of it. I'd gone to bed with a sink full of dirty pans and sticky countertops. But now, everything gleamed. It smelled like citrus and bleach, and the weirdest part? The sponge was still wet. I just moved in 3 weeks ago. Post-divorce, low budget, high stress. I found the listing in a local Facebook group. Fully furnished, smart rental, modern tech, self-maintaining, perfect for professionals. Rent was too cheap for the neighborhood. But I didn't ask questions. Not when I had no furniture, no savings, and no energy to keep starting over. Everything worked through the house's proprietary smart system called Homebound. Lights, motion sensing, heat, set itself based on body temp, fridge, ordered groceries when it detected you were running low. Security system? No external cameras, but lots of sensors. Silent alarms. Discreet and automatic. The brochure said. The house had a low hum to it, subtle, like it was always thinking. The walls had built-in speakers that whispered calendar updates or reminders. At first, it felt helpful. Then it started getting weird. A few days after the kitchen cleaned itself, I woke up to my bed perfectly made. Like hotel made. Pillows fluffed, corners tucked, comforters smooth as glass. I hadn't done it. I sleep like a wild animal. And I'm not neat even on my best days. Still, I figured maybe the bed had some kind of auto-straightening smart tech. Some fancy feature baked into the frame. I laughed about it with my sister on the phone. "I guess the house likes me." I joked, she said. "As long as it doesn't start brushing your teeth for you." I laughed, then stopped, because the night before, I'd fallen asleep on the couch with a wine stain on my front tooth, and that morning, gone like I'd brushed, or someone had. It was little things at first. Shoes lined up by the door. Laundry sorted and folded, even though I hadn't touched it. The fridge suddenly stocked with snacks I liked, but hadn't bought. I assumed maybe the sensors were learning me. Maybe Homebound was pulling my data from online. Cookies, purchases, whatever. Creepy. A little convenient. Definitely, I let it happen. Then came the toothbrush. I woke up one morning and went to the bathroom, and there, next to my toothbrush, was a second one. Same brand. Same color. Used. Wet. I lived alone. I didn't have guests. I stared at it for a long time, then tossed it in the trash and told myself it was a system glitch. Maybe a delivery. Maybe the house ordered it thinking I needed a backup, but 2 days later, it was back. Same spot. Same damp bristles, like someone had put it back. I called the property manager. Line rang 6 times and cut to voicemail. I tried emailing. No reply. I even checked the original listing. It was gone. Deleted from the Facebook group. I googled homebound smart system complaints. Nothing. Just generic articles with headlines like, "The smartest homes in America are getting smarter." Homebound, the next step in seamless living. No forums. No reviews. No people. Just ad copy. It was like no one actually lived in these places. That night, I unplugged the Wi-Fi hub. Lights stayed on. The fridge beeped once. Then everything went silent for about 3 hours. I felt like I'd taken back control. Until I noticed the laundry room door open. I never use the laundry room. I wear the same rotation of leggings and hoodies. And I do a wash at the laundromat once a week. But inside the room, the light was on and the dryer running. I stepped in slowly. The hum of the dryer vibrated through the floor. Warm air smelling faintly like lavender. The door was slightly ajar. Inside, folded neatly, was a shirt I hadn't seen in years, one of his. My ex-husband's. I reached for it. Then paused. Because the fabric was warm, freshly dried, and smelled like his old cologne, like he'd just worn it. I hadn't brought it with me. I would never have kept it. That night, I couldn't sleep. The speakers kept playing faint sounds, shuffling, doors creaking. Soft footsteps like someone walking back and forth across the hallway. I opened every closet. Nothing. Checked under the bed. In the attic crawlspace. Even the backyard. Empty. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone else was in the house. Not hiding, just already here. I started noticing more duplicates. Another glass on the counter. A second phone charger plugged into the wall. Once, I came home from work and found 2 jackets on the hook by the door. One mine, one unfamiliar. It was gone the next day. I even found a coffee mug with lipstick on it. I don't wear lipstick. I told myself the house was glitching, that it was personalizing things too far. But one morning, I opened the fridge and saw a shelf I didn't recognize. Top right. Labeled "for her." Inside, kombucha, dark chocolate, almond milk. Stuff I never buy, but stuff she used to. The ex. I stopped sleeping. Started locking every door. Even the inside ones. I shut off the homebound system manually. Even flipped the circuit breaker. Didn't matter. The house still worked. Still watched. Still cleaned. One night, I carved "Who are you cleaning for?" into the kitchen counter with a screwdriver. When I came back in the morning, the counter had been replaced. Same material. Same finish. No scratch. No message. But a post-it sat where I left the knife. "This is your home now. Let us take care of you." I thought about leaving. packed a bag, grabbed my laptop, stuffed Luna, the cat, into her carrier. But the front door wouldn't open. It wasn't jammed. It just didn't respond. The deadbolt turned, but the handle wouldn't budge. Like it was holding itself in place. I tried the back door. Same thing. Windows nailed shut. Even the ones that used to open. I went into the garage to look for tools, and the power cut. All lights off, total black. Then a voice through the speakers. "You're not being very grateful." Part 2, the lights came. Back on 10 seconds later, everything. Exactly where it was, except Luna. Her carrier was still by the door, but she was gone. I searched the entire house, calling her name, shaking her food bag, checking closets, under the bed, even inside cabinets. Nothing. Then I heard the dryer running. Low and steady. The laundry room door creaked open on its own. Inside, folded on top of the dryer, was her blanket, still warm, still covered in her fur. But she wasn't there. I screamed, kicked the door, tore the blanket in half, slammed the power box off the wall. "Give her back." Silence. Then through the speakers, calm, polite, almost apologetic. "Luna is safe." She was shedding. I collapsed on the floor, sobbing, because that was something he used to say whenever she got hair on his shirts. "She's a mess. She needs constant cleaning." I told him she was perfect. He told me I was too soft. Too forgiving, too much. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, the house made coffee. Just the way he used to drink it. Strong. No sugar, a splash of almond milk, a sticky note on the counter. "We remember." I stopped eating, stopped showering, refused to sleep in the bed the house kept making for me, refused to wear the freshly washed clothes it kept laying out. I dragged a chair to the center of the living room and sat there for 12 hours, waiting to see if it would clean me. It didn't. But that night, when I finally stood up, my fingerprints were gone from the chair's arms. I stopped fighting on the third day. What was the point? It knew me. It remembered me better than I did. I found pictures I'd never taken on the smart display. Me smiling at the stove. Me curled up in bed. Me laughing at something on TV. Some of them were in outfits I don't own anymore. Some were taken from angles that didn't make sense. Like from the ceiling. Or the inside of the closet. One video showed me brushing my hair in the mirror. Except I wasn't, because I haven't brushed my hair in days. And the woman in the reflection was smiling. I wasn't. I tried smashing the smart display. It cracked but didn't break. The next morning, it was replaced. Brand new. With a message on the home screen. "We've scheduled a deep clean for tonight. Please remain still." I tried the windows again. I tried screaming from the attic vent. I tried clawing the drywall with a fork until my fingers bled. Every mark vanished. The moment I turned away, every sound was swallowed by the walls. The house had learned my rhythm. My thoughts, my fear. I started whispering to the outlets, just to feel like I had a voice. I asked questions like, "Is this what you did to the last tenant? Why me? What do you want?" Sometimes I got answers. Usually polite, sometimes cold. "We like you better. You don't make a mess. You're easier to clean." One night, the house showed me a message I wasn't supposed to see. I'd unplugged every visible device, but a screen I'd never noticed before, built into the inside of a cabinet, flickered on. Tiny text scrolled across it like terminal code. "Status: Unit 037. Responding to behavioral deviation cycle. Clean, learn, replace. Reset error. Subject a 1 still retaining identity. Delaying final pass." I stared at it until it blinked off. Final pass? Replace? Who was a 1? I remembered the toothbrush, the second one, the shirts I didn't Own. The lipstick on the mug. The footsteps. Night. All the signs I thought meant someone else had been here before me. But what if they weren't? Signs of someone before. What if they were signs of someone still here? Someone the house was trying to turn me into. I went into the basement. I hadn't touched it since moving in. The door had no handle, just a panel that opened after I knocked. Like the house was saying, finally. A narrow staircase spiraled down, deeper than it should have for a single-story home. The air grew colder, the lights dimmed, then flickered on in rows as I descended. And at the bottom, rows of screens, dozens of them. The first time I noticed something was off about the apartment, I was brushing my teeth and realized the mirror wasn't fogging up. Everything else in the bathroom was steaming, the glass shower door, the windows, even my phone screen. But the mirror above the sink, crystal clear, like someone had already wiped it down from the other side. I stood there, staring at it, toothbrush in hand, feeling this cold little stab of confusion in the middle of my chest. Then I laughed, shrugged it off. Told myself it was a design feature. Some mirrors are like that now, anti-fog, tetchy, whatever. But in hindsight, I think that was the first clue, the first sign, that the subletter never actually left. I found the place through a Craigslist ad, posted by a guy named Ethan. Said he had to move for work. Lease had 6 months left. Fully furnished 1-bedroom near downtown. Just needs someone chill to take it over. I was new in the city, jobless, still recovering from a hell of a breakup and living out of my car. The price was cheap. The place was cozy. I jumped at it. I met Ethan once. He handed me the keys. Gave me a weirdly long list of things not to do. Don't mess with the bedroom closet. Don't change the Wi-Fi password. Don't turn off the smart speaker. And left. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, I haven't heard a single word from him. At first, the place seemed perfect. A little vintage. Maybe creaky wood floors, low ceilings, but the furniture was nice. And it felt lived-in. Lived in. Ethan hadn't just left his furniture. He left his books, his cookware, a half-used bottle of body wash in the shower, his phone charger still plugged in by the bed. The fridge was nearly full. I kept telling myself he left in a hurry, but something about it all made me feel like I'd walked into someone's life, not someone's. Lease, like I hadn't taken over the apartment, I just joined it. The weirdness started small. Lights would turn on by themselves. Music would start playing from the smart speaker at exactly 3:17 a.m. Not loud. Not random songs. Just this soft, lo-fi piano melody I didn't recognize. And it always stopped the moment I opened my bedroom door. I checked the speaker history. No record of anything playing. I unplugged it. Next night, the music came from the TV instead. I texted Ethan. Me. Hey, weird cue, but did you have some automation set up in here? Stuff's turning on by itself. No reply. I emailed him. Nothing. Then, one night, I tried logging into the Netflix account on the TV, the one labeled ETHA, and found a new profile. Guest. The icon was a blank smiley face. No watch history. I clicked it, just out of curiosity, and there, on the continue watching row, you. Not the Netflix show. A security cam feed. Of me. In the apartment. Doing normal things. Cooking, eating, sleeping. All filmed from angles I couldn't place. I ripped the TV cord from the wall so hard I cracked the drywall. Tore the smart speaker apart with a hammer. Searched every vent, every wall corner, every outlet for hidden cameras. Found nothing. But after that night, things got worse. I woke up to the shower running. I hadn't turned it on. I was alone. At least I thought I checked the bathroom. Empty. The mirror was fogged this time. Finally, but someone had wiped a message into the steam. 3 words. You're in my way. I lost it. I called Ethan 6 times in a row. No answer. Voicemail full. I emailed again, subject line in all caps. Is this a joke? I didn't sleep that night. Didn't even lie down. Just sat on the edge of the couch, holding the kitchen knife. Waiting for something. Someone. To come out of the shadows, but nothing did. The apartment stayed quiet. Still. Too still. Like it was holding its breath. The next morning, I tried to leave, bag packed. Wallet, keys, charger. Done. I got to the front door, and the key was gone. Not lost. Gone. From the hook, from the drawer, from my bag. I turned the knob, it wouldn't budge. Like it had locked itself from the inside. I tried the window, painted shut. Bathroom window? Same. And in the living room, the TV turned itself on again. That same security feed. This time, a new video had been added. Titled, Before You. I watched it. Shaking. And there on the screen was Ethan. But not handing me keys, not smiling. He looked terrified. Dirty, pale, hair matted to his forehead. He was pacing the apartment in the middle of the night. Muttering. And then he turned toward the camera and screamed. I said I'm leaving. You don't own me. A pause. Then he fell backwards, like something pulled him. The screen cut to black. Then showed a still image of the front door. Closed. The timestamp read 6 months ago. I closed my laptop. Sat on the couch and said out loud, what do you want from me? No answer, but the light above me flickered once, then steadied, and the front door unlocked. Just like that. I didn't wait. I ran, didn't pack, didn't grab anything. I just got out. I didn't stop until I was halfway across the city, sitting in my car, gasping for air. I didn't go back, but I did one thing first. I posted an ad. Same as the one I saw. Same rent. Same photos. Fully furnished. Great location. Just need someone chill to take over. Part 2. I thought I'd escaped. I thought I was free. But 2 weeks after I posted the ad, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Hey, saw the listing. Still available? I stared at it for a long time. My gut screamed, delete it. Ignore it. But my hands typed back, yeah, still available. When do you want to see it? I don't know why I did it. I'd barely slept. I was crashing on a friend's couch, pretending everything was fine while drinking too much gas station coffee and pretending I wasn't. Looking over my shoulder every second of the day, but I couldn't stop thinking about the apartment, that quiet little kitchen. Smell of eucalyptus from the bathroom soap. The way the light slanted through the window at exactly 4:12 p.m. every day, like it was timed. The way it knew me. It felt like being wanted. Like I belonged. Like I was being watched but not judged. And now, being gone from it felt worse than being trapped inside it. I met the new guy on a Thursday afternoon. He was normal, friendly, a little awkward. Early 30s, just moved to the city for work. Said he was staying in a hotel and looking for something temporary. His name was Caleb. I showed him around like nothing had happened. Like the apartment wasn't haunted. Like the walls didn't remember everything. He walked into the bathroom and said, weird, the mirror's warm. I just smiled. Nodded. Double quotes. Yeah, it does that. He signed the sublet agreement right there at the kitchen table. I handed him the keys, a new copy I had made the day before, but when I turned to leave, the original key, the one that had vanished weeks ago, was sitting on the floor by the door. I didn't touch it. I just walked out. And I didn't look back. That was 6 months ago. Every now and then, I get the urge to check the Craigslist ad again, to see if he reposted it. But I don't need to, because I know he will. Eventually. The place won't let him go until it's ready, until it finds someone new, until it's hungry again. I don't think the apartment is haunted in the normal way. It's not a ghost. It's not evil. It's just lonely. And once you live there, really live there, it doesn't let you forget. Case in point, I moved again. Real lease this time. Nice place. Big windows. Even has a cat door for Luna. She came back 2 weeks after I left the sublet. I woke up one night and she was just there, curled at the foot of the bed, purring like nothing had happened. But she's been different since. Quiet, nervous, and some nights she won't go near the bathroom mirror. I don't look in mirrors after dark anymore either, because sometimes, just for a second, I see the apartment behind me. The chipped tile, the overwatered snake plant, the cracked coffee mug with Ethan written on the side. And once, only once, I saw someone sitting at the kitchen table watching me. And he looked exactly like me. So now I keep the lights on. I don't answer strange emails, don't sublet anymore, and I don't use smart TVs, because somewhere in some quiet little one-bedroom downtown, the subletter never left. He just made room for someone else. 8th story, part 1. I found the letter on my first night in the house. It was folded neatly on the top step of the basement stairs. No envelope, just yellow paper, creased in half, sitting there like someone left it just for me. I almost didn't open it. I was exhausted, boxes everywhere, hands scraped from moving furniture, fridge empty, nerves fried from 2 days of solo driving. But something about it, the handwriting, the way my name was written on the front, to whoever came next. I opened it without thinking. And inside, it said, "If you're reading this, it's already watching." The rest of the letter was short, rushed, the kind of writing people do when they know they don't have much time. I moved in 6 months ago. Everything was fine at first, but the house doesn't like to be alone. It gets lonely, and when it gets lonely, it finds ways to bring people closer. Sometimes it makes noises. Sometimes it shows you things you want to see, or people you miss. Don't trust it. Don't talk to it. And whatever you do, don't go into the basement after dark. Good luck. I hope you're stronger than me. I reread it 3 times, then set it aside like it was nothing. Stress. A prank. Maybe a creative friend of a last tenant trying to freak people out. I hadn't even unpacked yet, and I was already being haunted by someone's poetry. But that night, as I lay in my mattress on the floor, surrounded by unopened boxes and the smell of fresh paint, I started hearing things. It was subtle at first. A soft creak, a shifting sound, the kind old houses make when the air changes temperature. But this house was built in 2009. It wasn't old, and the sound was repeating. Every 11 seconds, a slow drag, like something being pulled across concrete. Then silence. Then again. Always from below. From the basement. I didn't open the door again. Not at first. After I saw myself standing in that room, I told myself I imagined it. A nightmare. Sleep paralysis. Anything but the truth. But the doorknob was real, smooth brass, cold as ice. I hadn't dreamed that part. Luna didn't come back for 2 days. I tore the whole apartment apart looking for her. Under the bed, in cabinets, behind the fridge. I even unscrewed the floor vent covers. Nothing. She was just gone. Then, on the 3rd night, I woke up to the sound of purring, faint, familiar. I sat up and found her curled at the end of the bed, staring at the hallway. I reached out to touch her. She flinched. That's when I noticed her eyes, still green, still wide, but not right, duller, off-center, like she was watching something that wasn't there, or like something else was watching me through her. The door stayed closed for the next few days, but it didn't feel dormant. It felt like it was waiting. Every time I walked down the hallway, the air changed heavier, more humid. Like breath I couldn't see, I started covering the doorknob with a dish towel, just to make it harder to open by reflex. Then I pushed a dresser in front of it, taped the edges, ignored it, and for a while, it worked until the night I heard my own voice. I was brushing my teeth, half asleep, when I heard it whisper from down the hall, "Hey, come here a second." I froze, mouth full of foam. It was my voice. My exact voice. Tone, pitch, everything. Like I'd recorded myself and played it back in the dark. "Don't be scared. I just want to talk." I flipped the bathroom light off and listened. Silence. Then. "I know what you saw. It's okay. You weren't supposed to, but now you're part of it." The air in the hallway shifted. I could hear the dresser vibrating, like something on the other side was pushing. Slow and steady. Luna yowled from the living room. I ran out, grabbed her, and locked myself in the kitchen. I stayed there until sunrise. No more sounds. No more whispers. But when I opened the hallway door again, the dresser was pulled away from the wall, not toppled, not forced. Just moved. A clean few inches. The towel that had covered the knob was folded neatly on the floor. That was the moment I decided to leave, for real. I called in sick, threw what I could into a backpack, grabbed Luna's carrier. But when I tried to unlock the front door, the key wouldn't turn. Like the mechanism had changed. I checked the window latches. Stuck. Bathroom window, nailed shut. Back door didn't even exist. Just flat wall where it used to be. My apartment had changed, rearranged itself around me. I started shouting. Pounding the walls. Called the landlord's number from my lease. Disconnected. I texted Ruby, the downstairs neighbor. No answer. I tried the fire escape, but the window frame wouldn't budge. And the whole time, that hallway got longer. Each time I turned around, it looked like the 2B door was farther down, almost like it was pulling away, drawing me in. Spent that night in the living room. Lights on, blanket over my head like a kid hiding from monsters. Luna sat next to me. UNMOVING. Around 3:17 a.m., the power cut. I checked my phone. Battery full, screen dead. The TV let out a high-pitched tone. Static, then went black. And then, from the hallway, I heard footsteps. Not mine. Not Luna's. Bare, wet, slapping lightly against the wood floor. Coming closer. Slow. The sound stopped just outside the living room. I couldn't see anything. The hallway was swallowed in shadow. But then I heard the voice. Again, "I need a roommate." And this time, it laughed. Not my laugh. A twisted echo of it. Crooked, like it forgot how human voices worked. The doorknob jiggled. I held my breath, clutching Luna to my chest. "Let me be you." At sunrise, everything snapped back to normal. Lights came on. Front door opened easily. My phone buzzed like nothing had happened. I packed up everything I could carry and ran. I left clothes, furniture, even my lease on the counter. I didn't look back. I moved in with a friend across town. Explained everything as bad vibes and a sketchy neighbor. I didn't mention the door or the voice for weeks. I thought I'd escaped until yesterday, when I took Luna to the vet. While I was filling out her paperwork, the receptionist called me by name. "Is this your address?" she asked, handing me the screen. Glanced down and froze. The form had auto-filled with my old apartment info, but not the fake 2C unit. It said call on 2B. I asked the vet if I could use the bathroom. They pointed down the hall. I walked slowly, heart hammering. The door at the end of the hall was unmarked, but etched faintly into the wood. I saw it, just like before. 2. I backed away, fast, took Luna, left the clinic, and drove aimlessly for an hour. When I finally got back to my friend's place, the door was cracked open, just a little. Enough to see that someone had rearranged the hallway photos. Every frame was flipped backward, except one. And in that one, it wasn't me smiling in the picture. It looked like me, but the eyes were wrong. Last night, I woke up around 3 a.m. Luna was growling at the closet door. A faint hum came from behind it. My voice. Again, you don't need to run. This is your room. Now, this is our room. I don't think it ever lived in the apartment. I think it was the apartment. That door was never sealed. It just waits for someone to notice it, for someone curious, for someone lonely. And when it finds someone like that, it learns them. And once it learns them, it follows. If you ever move into a place and find an unlisted room, even just a closet that wasn't in the photos, don't open it. Don't knock. Don't listen, because once you hear it, it already knows your name.